So, welcome to our presentation on the strategic analysis of Emerald Co. So, firstly, looking at the history of Emerald, it was founded by Bernardo Cole in the 1940s in Colombia, who leveraged strong entrepreneurial instincts to seize opportunities in construction. He balanced family responsibilities and business expansion, setting the foundation for a future family business. Professionalization and transition. So, as competition increased, Cole hired an external CEO who introduced process improvements and professionalized the company. His two sons joined the company and started leading different divisions. And then diversification and leadership. The company expanded into multiple sectors, leveraging its strong foundation in construction to enter real estate, hospitality, and infrastructure development.
So now to discuss the main characters of Emerald Co. We have Bernardo, who previously mentioned. He's the founder of the company. He's a visionary entrepreneur with a strong instinct for business opportunities. He's highly respected in his industry for his networking and business acumen. Next we have Mario, who's the eldest son. He's quite extroverted and sociable, and he has strong leadership skills. Rafael, the middle son, on the other hand, is quite introverted. He's a strategic thinker and seeks to unify the family through structured processes. Andres, the youngest son, is quite confident and efficient leader, and Diego is the head of internal processes, and he's quite focused on operational and systematic improvements. Next, looking at their interests, the ones that are interested in business are Mario, Rafael, Diego, and Andres. Eric and Inez are socially driven. They want to start a foundation. Peter, Mary, and Francesco are creative and want to focus their careers on independent stuff like music, fashion, and traveling. Next, looking at the dynamics and the relationships in the family, the father-son dynamics. Bernardo favors Andres and sees him as the natural successor. He clashes with Rafael and Mario, who want a more structured decision-making. Rafael feels unsupported but continues to push for family governance. Looking at the sibling relationships, Mario, Diego, and Andres are primarily business focused. Rafael is more focused on family governance, which isolates him. Peter and Francesco are uninvolved in the business but have strong personal bonds. Next, looking at the third generations, the cousins, Pablo and Alvarez are friends, but they both want the leadership roles. And Eric and Inez focus on social initiatives and family bonding. The spouses, looking at them, Mario's wife encouraged him to push for the CEO position, and Rafael's wife remains neutral but observes tension among the sisters-in-laws.
Perfect. So looking into the current situation of the company, specifically looking within the family complexity within Emerald Co., there are multiple generations, leadership conflicts, as well as family dynamics that do impact decision making. So we have analyzed four main things to derive it down to a numerical value. Firstly, we very much so acknowledge that there's multi-generational involvement with three generations engaged at very different levels, which does create misalignment in vision as well as priorities. We also see how there is a leadership conflict, very, very evident. Mr. Cole retains absolutely most of the control, sidelining both the board of directors as well as his son Raphael's push for structured governance. Additionally, we see that there is spousal and extended family influence, which further complicates decision making, particularly in how the wives engage in business matters. And finally, the succession uncertainty looms as Mr. Cole favors Andreas over Raphael, despite Raphael's professionalization efforts. So overall, we do rate the complexity for the family complexity score to be about a 4.5 out of 10, highlighting the power struggles, the succession ambiguity, as well as the informal governance. Now moving on into the business complexity, Emerald Co. faces significant business complexity due to a very diversified model, economic pressures, as well as a lack of strategic planning. The company operates in three different divisions: constructions, materials, as well as hotels, each with a unique management needs. And then also complicating the matter even further, market downturns as well as increased competition have placed financial strain on the company. Moreover, Mr. Cole's push for international expansion into Brazil is being pursued without proper feasibility studies, which really does expose the company to financial risk. And then internally, we do see operational inefficiencies arise due to a lack of performance tracking as well as structured decision making. Now, both for business and family complexity, I have included quotes directly from the reading itself, but just due to time constraints, I will just leave it on the slides and not read them out. But they further go to kind of back up and evidence said different issues that determine these complexities. But at the end of the day, we determine the complexity ratio for the business complexity to be about a 4 out of 5. These factors really do show an urgent need for structured business strategy. Now, moving on into structured development, Emerald Co., we acknowledge, do have governance structures in place, but they are very, very, very ineffective. The board of directors exists, yet lacks authority. Mr. Co. always remains the sole decision maker. There's also a family council that has been proposed, but remains unimplemented, which does prevent balanced decision making. There's also a lack of structured management practices, such as KPI tracking, as well as leadership development, which does hinder professionalization in hindsight. And additionally, poor communication really does create internal conflicts, while succession planning remains unresolved. Now, given all of these weaknesses, we do rate structure effectiveness to be about a 3 out of 5, as governance mechanisms are underutilized as well as unstructured. Now, when we analyze the structural risk equation, we say that the high family complexity rating of 4.5, as well as the high business complexity ratio of 4.5, combined with a weak structure of 3, so adding up the first two and subtracting the third number, does lead to a structural risk score of about 6. Now, this high risk underscores the urgent need for a governance reform, strategic planning, as well as a structured leadership transition. Without intervention, internal conflicts, financial instability, as well as unchecked business expansion could really threaten Emerald Co.'s long-term survival.
Next, looking at the key aspects of the current family business model, we have addressed governance and decision-making, family involvement, and finally business structure and performance. Firstly, under governance and decision-making, Emerald Co. operates under a founder-controlled model, with Mr. Cole holding 100% of the shares and making all key decisions independently. While there's a board of directors that includes family members and external advisors, it lacks real influence. Board meetings take place, but major business decisions are made by Mr. Cole without consulting the board. This has created frustration among some family members, particularly Raphael, who believes that more structured governance is needed. He has advocated for a shift towards strategic planning and more formal decision-making processes, but his efforts have faced resistance from his father. Family involvement in the business varies widely. While Mario, Raphael, Diego, and Andres have taken on active roles in different divisions, Peter and Francisco have chosen completely different paths in music and sport. The third generation has started to enter the business, but all of them are equally committed. A key concern is succession planning. Mr. Cole strongly favours Andres and Alvaro as future leaders, while Raphael pushes for a more inclusive approach that takes into account the strengths of other family members. These differing opinions, combined with tensions between siblings and even their spouses, creates internal conflicts that affect both the business and family dynamics. Beyond internal challenges, Emerald Co. is facing external pressure in the construction and real estate industry. The real estate sector has been in decline since 2008, with falling house prices and a reduction in mortgages granted. The construction sector is also highly cyclical, making the company vulnerable to economic downturns. Despite these risks, Mr. Cole is set on expanding into Brazil, but there is no feasibility study or structured analysis to support this move. This kind of high-risk decision-making, based purely on intuition, raises concerns about the company's long-term financial stability.
We have come up with 3 options for continuity for Emerald Co., which include improving the governance structure, establishing a co-leadership model, and changing the business model. With regards to structure, Mr. Cole needs to allow the board of directors to take a more active role in strategic decisions. A family council should be developed to balance family and business interests, and a clear and detailed succession plan should be made. We believe that Emerald Co. should establish a dual governance structure, with Raphael as the family chairman overseeing strategic vision. They should appoint a CEO to oversee daily operations and drive business efficiency. Andre, with his expertise, is the most qualified candidate for this role. After analysing the business model, we believe it should be changed. Emerald Co. should shift its focus away from single-purpose buildings and enter the high-growth sector of residential units or office hubs. We also think they should diversify into new markets beyond Colombia. For these options to be successful, Emerald Co must follow specific steps. The first step involves changing the board of director engagement by empowering the board, strengthening decision-making authority and accountability to ensure long-term stability. With regards to succession planning, Emerald Co must establish clear roles and responsibilities to prepare the next generation for leadership. The final step involves market development. They need to conduct market research about expanding into new markets such as Brazil and Chile, ensuring financial feasibility and risk mitigation. Implementing these recommendations will help Emerald Co transition into a more sustainable and strategically positioned business for future growth.